right. Well, good morning, everybody, and good afternoon and good evening if you're streaming in. So, there's a nice introduction from Andy. Time's been around since 1923, and I had the pleasure of joining the company about 13 months ago. And if you likely have a sort of passing familiarity with some of the logos, some of the brands that you see on this screen here, we actually have 80 brands around the world, most of them in North America, in the United States, and of course in the UK. But we also have brands, Time and Fortune especially, that are syndicated worldwide. And we're reaching about 120 million unique impressions through our printed material every month. And we're reaching about 120 million unique visitors through our digital properties. And that digital growth is going up tremendously. So I walked into the doors, or through the doors of Time, as I say, 13 months ago. And this is a picture of the Time Life building in New York at 6th and 50th. And when you come on board as a new CIO, a new CTO, in my case, one of the first things you do is you take inventory. You have a look and you see what you've got, what you're working with, what you need to change, what you want to double down on. And I found, amongst many things, that we have 5 major data centers, some of them owned and operated by ourselves, some of them colo facilities with third parties. I also found that one of those data centers was on the 21st floor of the Time Life building. Actually, I lie. It's not on the 21st floor, it is the 21st floor. And this is some of the most expensive, valuable real estate on the planet, and we're using it for a data center, which in my mind is probably not the brightest move. And there's an interesting story about why that all happened, which I'll be happy to share with you later over a beer. But fundamentally, we've got all of these data centers around the world with a lot of held capital, with the inability to rapidly scale, that we're beholden in many cases to third parties. Getting new hardware on board is incredibly complicated, time-consuming. It's a big challenge, and it's something that clearly I wanted to solve as soon as I walked in through the door. Because, as Andy introduced, I don't want to be in the data center business. I want Time-incorporated staff to really focus on what they do best, which is content, which is video, it's journalism, it's editorial. It's telling those stories and connecting our customers, our readers, our viewers with the world of celebrity, with the world of news, with the world of business. That's what we do best. And anything and everything that is a distraction from that, I want to obviate from the entire system. So I'd actually been at Amazon for 8 years. I left Seattle and I moved to Time. And I was actually involved when I was at Amazon in moving all of the Amazon websites across to AWS. We acted as an internal customer, really an early test of the capabilities of AWS. So we chose AWS very early on for the antithetical reasons that I mentioned before: price, performance, speed to market, capability, and not just getting out of the data center business, but being able to leverage all of the services that AWS has to offer, so we don't have to build them ourselves, or we don't have to bring in from a third party. They're already there, they're pre-integrated, they're easy to use, they're widely distributed. It's just an easy model for us to take advantage of. So the Amazon system was great. The partner ecosystem as well is incredibly important. When I joined the company, we just built a relationship with Acquia because we were shifting our content management system to Drupal, and these are the guys to go and do that. We brought in Alert Logic because one of the issues is AWS is great for physical security, for network security. When you're building an application, you've got to own that security yourself. Amazon doesn't know what you're building. You can build it in any weird and wacky way that you like, but you've got to own the security. And Alert Logic, with a bunch of their firewall capabilities, intrusion detection, have been just an amazing partner. And CloudReach in the UK, we brought in to help us build up subject matter expertise. It's tough to go out and hire cloud expertise, certainly hire AWS expertise. All those folks are in very high demand. You're all in very high demand. So bringing in a third party to help us really develop our SMEs internally and get a fast run at the opportunity was incredibly important. So where we got to is we've now moved 100% of our UK brands across onto AWS. Our hosting costs went down from about $70,000 a month to $17,000 a month. And that's money that I can apply on all of the things that we should be doing as a business. About half of our apps, our customer-facing apps in the US, are now on AWS. We'll finish the rest off by the end of this year. And from our back office, our infrastructural technologies, our corporate applications, we built up effectively an enterprise data center on AWS, and we're moving all of those back office apps. And any that we don't want to move or can't move for whatever reason, great, we're building relationships with third parties for them to deliver product as a service, software as a service, because I want to be out of the data center business completely. It's not our core competency. So we're all in. As Andy said, we've made a big, bold, and I think a very important and transformational decision for our business. By the end of 2015, we'll have got rid of 2 data centers, massively scaled down a third. We'll finish the rest off next year. All of our customer-facing websites and mobile applications will be on AWS by the end of this year, and our corp apps by the end of Q1 next year will be all moved across. And we have a number of legacy mainframe applications that we're going to keep on running. We've got them on Z-series mainframes down in our office in Tampa, in Florida. But we're going to re-engineer those. We're going to use some packaged applications. We're going to do some re-engineering ourselves with the target of moving it to AWS. Or some of those applications are just fine. We'll just carry on running them. So I'll never be completely out of the data center business, but I'm certainly not building any more, and we're going to scale it down as aggressively as we possibly can. So it's been a fun, interesting, educational, transformational journey for the business. And not just on the technology side. I mean, it's been a big cultural transformation as well. And it's interesting that the more we do on the cloud and on AWS helps us change not just the use of how we're using technology, but also helps us bring in different models of working, DevOps, much more agile development. The speed of development now has really picked up tremendously over the 6, 9, 12 months that I've been at the business, because the staff have just got so much more power at their fingertips to make decisions and to support the business and to support our customers, which is absolutely our primary goal. All right, thank you very much, everybody.